And so this is a 60-minute class. I've got a live studio audience. We are ready to go. So let's start in mountain pose. Won't need any props today officially, but if you like to use props, please feel free to grab some blocks or anything else that you might like. Even a blanket, perhaps, because there's going to be a portion we're going to be kneeling for a little bit. All right. So starting in mountain pose. Yeah, go ahead and kind of shake things out here and just loosen up those cobwebs. Take a few deep breaths. Just kind of settle into your body, settle into the space. You might even close your eyes or just soften your eyes. You might gaze forward or slightly downward so that you can begin to tune in to your own breathing. Slow breaths in and out. And as you're breathing in, you want to feel the lifting and lengthening of your spine, feel the breath rising to fill up your lungs. And as you exhale, draw your navel inward towards your spine. Just this light contraction of your abdominal muscles, just bringing yourself to a greater awareness of yourself. Breathing deeply, connecting to the abdominal lock. So again, as you breathe in, just feel tall and lengthened through the spine. Breath rising to fill up your lungs, exhaling to connect to center body. And take 3 more breaths like that. Using these breaths now to prepare your body to move. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Treat it like a big stretch. Reach all the way up. And exhale, we'll fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. As you make your way down, maybe touching your toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or your thighs to extend your spine nice and long. Exhale, we'll fold, but just briefly here. Just for a moment so you can feel that lengthening through your hamstrings, down through your back. Go ahead and shift your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, look forward, then inhale, we'll come back up to a standing position. Let's reach into the air. Another nice stretch. Exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Just pause, return to breath. A nice breath in and out. We'll continue. Just move at your own breath pace. Inhale, sweep your arms into the air, lengthening through the sides of your body. Exhale, leading with your heart. Fold forward, soft knees, guiding your way downward carefully. Inhale, rise up halfway for the fully extended spine. Exhale, bend your knees enough to place your hands on your mat. We're going to step back into plank pose. We'll just pause in a high push-up position, but take a moment to really push strongly into the ground with the hands so your arms feel a little straighter and stronger. Inhale here. Exhale, bend your knees slightly and send your hips up to move into downward facing dog. Take a moment if you need to adjust your hands and your feet on your mat so you can just settle into the pose. Let's focus on the feet for a moment. You might pedal the feet or press one heel down as the other heel lifts, as if you're pedaling a bicycle or walking. So you can get a stretch in your calves, your toes, let your knees bend. And as you're doing that, now pay attention to your hands. Maybe spread out your fingers a little wider. Continue to push firmly into the mat so your palms feel flat on your mat. Arms are still strong and straight. Let's pause the pedaling, but as you're able, just feel your chest or heart sink a little deeper, either towards the ground or towards your toes. And then soften that. You might feel your upper back shift forward just a little bit. From here, inhale, extend your right leg up behind you, reach back. We're going to hold for a few breaths. So as you're pressing strongly into the mat, feel the arms straighten, feel the energy move through the arms, your torso, and right up through that lifted leg, through your toes. Inhale, and exhale. Let's bring this right foot up to the top of the mat. We're going for our first lunge. Turn left heel to the ground behind you, shifting the weight back so you can lift your hands easily into Warrior One. Just rise up. We're going to exhale, fold again. Place your hands back down onto the ground. Let's step back into plank pose. Hold again, still firing up the hands and arms. Breathe in. And your exhale, soft knees to send hips into the sky, downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. We'll inhale, extend left leg up. We're going to hold as we exhale. Continue feeling that energy come from the ground, through your hands, through your strong arms and long torso, through the lifted leg and through your toes. Breathe in, and your exhale to step through. Left foot now up to the top of the mat. Right heel plants into the ground. Shifting the weight back so your hands are light. They can easily lift. There we go. Inhale, rising. And our exhale to fold. Bring your hands back down to the ground. We'll step back into plank. And if you'd like, either take that same shortcut to down dog or chaturanga dandasana if you want to. Inhale to either a low cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to go to the ground, so you might kneel down, sit back briefly in hero, then take a seat off to the side so you can swing the legs around to the front. And we'll step into our boat pose. So I like to start this way sometimes, having heels on the ground, holding onto the backs of the legs, so you can literally just kind of lift yourself up. Very long in the torso. That's a breath in. Exhale to pull belly in. That's our core engagement. And then start to lean back. Making sure your spine is still straight. Even lift the chin, because sometimes the chin likes to stay tucked down towards the chest. Be sure to lift the chin so the neck is still in the same alignment as your spine. You can stay just like this with feet on the ground, or lean back more. Step your feet in towards yourself. As the weight shifts back, the feet may become light and they'll just float right up off the mat. Now you can continue holding on to the legs if you want, or releasing, depending on what you'd like to do. You can always bring the heels back down to the ground if you want. So they're all correct, yeah. A few more breaths. Strong core body. Very energetic. Okay, we're going to move. We're going to breathe in like we're floating up off the ground. Exhale, cross legs. If you can, roll forward onto your hands or just to the side so you can step your feet back into plank pose. Let's take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend the knees a little. Send your hips into the air. Your next exhale, walk, step, or hop. Both feet back up to the top of the mat. Forward fold. We're going to inhale to rise up just halfway, so half forward fold. Exhale back down to your forward fold. Put the weight in your heels, soften your knees. We'll inhale, come up to standing. We're going to reach into the air. And exhale, bring your hands down to heart. Let's just pause so we can just gather ourselves. Take a few deep breaths. Excellent. We're going to go right into chair pose and twist it just a little bit. Here we go. Follow me. We're going to inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, take your chair pose. Now you don't have to sit down too deeply, so you're just bending the knees, hips go back, arms extended. They can even be parallel to the floor for a moment. We are going to bring hands to heart, so go ahead and bring hands to heart center. Making sure your torso is still nice and long. And even feel or even look down at your body, making sure your feet are balanced on the mat, your knees are even. And if your knees are even, your hips are even. And we want to maintain that. For our twist, it's just going to be an upper body rotation. So we're going to breathe in, more extension through the spine. Exhale, pull belly in and revolve or twist a little bit to your right. Doesn't have to be much. And with this rotation, you want to still be sure your feet are balanced, knees are aligned, so even look back down at your knees to be sure they're still aligned, just as they were in your chair pose. If you want, you can always sit back and down a little deeper, or even rotate a tiny bit more. Yeah, just keep checking in with your alignment. All right, we're going to breathe in right where we are. Exhale, unwind. Just place your hands on your thighs. Feel everything just kind of come back to neutral. We're going to stand up tall, extended mountain. Inhale. Exhale, back down into your chair pose. Again, it doesn't have to be a deep seat. Go ahead and bring hands to heart. Check in, feet are balanced, knees are even, hips are aligned. We're going to inhale for an extension of spine. Exhale, pull belly, and now a twist to your left. Even make it a small, minor rotation at first so that you can really sense that it's just your upper body that's in motion. From the waistline down, ideally, they're still stable. They haven't moved much at all. Stay here, or if you'd like, maybe sit back and down a little deeper into your seat and even rotate a tiny bit more. These don't have to be big movements at all. A couple more breaths. Very nice. You're going to inhale right where you are. Exhale to unwind. Place hands on thighs. Hold. Feeling everything just come back to neutral. We're going to stand up tall, extended mountain. Inhale, reach into the air. We're going to flow from here. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, let's rise up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the mat, walk, step, or even hop back into plank pose. If you'd like, come down, Chaturanga Dandasana, or some variation of a vinyasa flow here. You can move into cobra or up dog as you inhale, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's inhale to extend right leg up behind you. Let's bend the knee, bring the heel down towards backside, lifting the knee to create a little twist in the spine and a hip opener. As we exhale, we'll unwind it, step right foot to the top of the mat, left heel turns to the ground so you can easily float your way up Warrior One, and your exhale to Warrior Two. Good, yeah, just take your time with all of that. Settle in, adjust your feet if you need to. Nice deep lunge, active arms. Let's take side angle. Good. Follow your right hand forward to angle the upper half of the body. You'll rotate the arms, and your right arm might come to the inside of the right leg while your left hand reaches into the air. Just a couple breaths like this, just to feel this expansiveness and opening through the heart space. Stay here, but you're going to bring your left hand down behind you. I'm going to give you some options. You might just bring your hand to your low back. You can even bring your left hand to your left hip. Or if you're able, maybe you can slide your left hand around the body to touch the right hip or even your right thigh. A couple more breaths here. Excellent. We're going to inhale to re-extend this left hand up into the air. Exhale, let's turn. Let's bring hands to the ground. Step back, plank pose. Complete your series as you like. Don't forget you can use that shortcut anytime. Inhale to a back bend if you're going through the full flow. Exhale, downward facing. Settling in. Then an inhale to extend left leg up into the air. Let's bend the knee, lift the knee slightly, opening up the hip. As you exhale, let's unwind it so we can step through. Left foot to the top of the mat, right heel to the ground, shifting the weight back. Hands will float right up into the air, Warrior One, and our exhale to Warrior Two. Settling in, making any adjustments. Energetic arms reaching through the fingertips. Nice deep lunge. Follow your left hand forward, angled upper body, rotate the arms. We're reaching down towards the ground. Now you could actually touch the ground with this left hand if you want, or stay up high like I am, and then right hand reaching into the air. So side angle. Feel that opening of the whole front body. Stay here as you now bring right hand down behind you. Same options. Bring hand to low back, or right hand to right hip, or if you're able, reach all the way around the body from behind to touch the left hip or left thigh with your fingertips. Let's take a breath in and now re-extend the right arm up into the air. Let's exhale to turn, hands down to the ground. Step back into plank pose, complete your series. We'll meet together in downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. That same sensation of spreading out your fingers, push firmly into the ground so your palms feel pretty flat on your mat. Arms are straight and strong. And as you're able, carefully, slowly kind of sink the chest a little closer to the ground or to your toes. We're going to come out of this posture by bringing the knees to the ground. Let's just take a series of cat and cow. So if you need to, just adjust your hands so they're underneath your shoulders. But if you need to, you can always step your hands forward just so you can take some of the pressure off the wrists if you want to. And your knees are underneath your hips. So cat and cow. So inhale to look up or forward, arching the back. This is cow. Create a little back bend feel. Exhale to round it out. Cat pose. You can do that several times on your own. Just getting this nice undulation of the spine. Yeah, add some movements to this. If it feels good to maybe circle the hips, even sit back towards child's pose. Yeah, move around as it feels best for your body. I'm going to create some circles with my hips. Kind of in between some of those breaths and movements. Just really getting into the body. Listening, feeling. Wherever you are, just take 3 more deep breaths. We'll pause in this little tabletop posture. Just take a moment, come to stillness. And then as you're able, sit back into hero pose. So hero, you might sit right back onto the heels. And since we're on our hands that long, let's go ahead and just take a moment, to kind of relax the wrist. You might even just start with just wiggling your fingers. That can really help release in the wrist. Just wiggle your fingers. And then you can kind of do that counter stretch, because we're doing these forced flexes when we're on our hands like that. So just opposite. Maybe just gently press the tops of the backs of the hands together. A little swing with the fingers is nice. Even into the ground. Very gently though. But this is a very effective one, just wiggling your fingers. Alrighty, so we're going to come up onto the knees here, and this is where you might want to have some padding. If you need padding, either fold your mat underneath your knees or slide a blanket or something underneath you, okay? So we're going to be nice and tall. You might even push your pelvis forward just to help activate right here. Okay, so you can stay nice and solid. If you need to, tuck your toes, if you need to. You can keep them flat or tuck your toes. So from here, we're going to take both arms up into the air. And if you can, interlace your fingers and reach up, maybe pointing through the index fingers towards the ceiling. So a nice breath in, exhale. And we're going to do a little reed pose, but just on our knees. We're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, tip to your right a little bit. Just lean to the right or point to the right. Take another breath, so you might be breathing into the opposite side. Exhaling, either staying here, or if you can, maybe tip a little bit more. This is about as far as I'm going to take my body. But a nice little reaching sensation through the fingertips. And that side body stretch, good. All right, we're going to inhale, come back up to the top. Let's relax the shoulders, so exhale, bring the arms back down. Just as we relax the fingers and wrists, just roll the shoulders out. Because that can be a lot of tension just holding your arms up like that. So whenever you're ready, we're going to inhale and take the arms back up. Same thing, interlace the fingers. Point with your index fingers towards the ceiling. And maybe you are able to hug your arms in towards your ears. And it's okay if you can't. Maybe your elbows need to stay bent. That's fine. And just get this nice lengthening effect. We're going to inhale, point up, reach up. Exhale, tip over to your left side. Just a little bit. And if that's as far as you want to go, then stay here and just continue to breathe. Breathe into the right side of your body. Or maybe you can bend a little bit more. Excellent. All right, we're going to inhale and come back up. And exhale, let's release the fingers, bring the arms back down by your side if you like. Yeah, shake that out, roll the shoulders. You might roll them back, you might roll them forward. And if there's a little stiffness in the neck, you have some movement through the neck and head. We'll sit back into hero, really just to bring the hands back out in front of us here so we can tuck toes, lift knees and hips, and come to a downward facing dog. Let's flow. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist open. You're going to unwind on the exhale, step through. Come to a high lunge this time. High lunge. So left heel will remain lifted, but do shift the weight back towards that lifted heel and rise up. We're going to hold here for a moment just for the balancing lunge. Reach high, but lunge low. If you want to, the arms can remain straight or even bend elbows. Okay, we're going to shoot our way back up, straightening this right leg. Pivot, left heel to the ground, bring arms down to parallel. So we're prepped for triangle. So let's go ahead and take triangle. Reach out over the right leg, tip it over, right hand down, left hand into the air. Just to get a little hamstring stretch, some more opening through the front body. Wonderful. Now to come out of this pose, let's start by bending the right knee. So a nice lunge there. Come back up, upper body. Pass through a warrior two and take this to a reversed warrior. So right hand reaching straight up. And at the moment, let's just let that left hand just rest very lightly on your back leg. Okay, we're going to hold here, but we're going to add on to this. The first motion is bend the right elbow and bring your right hand like down behind your head, or down to the neck or shoulder, and then point upward with that right elbow. And then with the left hand, you're going to slide it behind you like you're sliding on a belt, okay? And the tip comes out the other side. So if you can see me, my fingers are just pointing, towards the right knee there. So it's like my left arm is like a belt that you just slid on. And just notice these sensations. Now you're going to extend both arms and just windmill out of the posture. Bring your hands down to the mat. Let's step back into down dog by sweeping the right leg back and up into the air. Hold. Same energy. Reach through the foot as the hands root into the ground. Slowly bring the right foot to the floor. Shift your body out to plank pose. Hold plank for a moment. And then Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Downward facing dog. All right, other side when you're ready. Inhale, let's extend left leg into the air. Bend, twist open. We'll unwind it when you exhale, step through for a high lunge. So right heel stays lifted, shifting the weight back so you feel balanced. Hands are light. You can easily float them off the ground into the air. Once you're tall here, reach up, lunge low. Arms can stay straight or bend elbows. That might be nice just to help keep the shoulders active but not strained, perhaps. Let's shoot the arms straight up as you also straighten your legs. Pivot right heel to the floor, turn sideways. Arms come down to parallel, so you're ready for triangle. Reach out over the straight left leg. Angled body, rotate the arms. Okay, here we go. Coming out, we're going to bend the left knee, a nice deep lunge, so we can easily come back up to a warrior two. Reverse your warrior, so left hand initially just reaching straight up into the air. Right hand just resting very lightly on the leg behind you. There's no weight on it. The energy is up. Then you're going to bend the left elbow so you can bring your hand down either to the top of your head or behind the head or down towards your neck or shoulder. Point with the elbow and just notice how that activates kind of, at least for me, it's just like down through the side of the body. And then the right hand or arm, you're going to slide it on behind you like you're sliding a belt on. And your fingertips pointing in the same direction as your left knee. Let's re-extend the arms, then we're going to windmill out of the pose. Bring the hands down to the floor in front, back to down dog, but slide the left foot back and up into the air. Reach. Feel the energy moving through your toes and down into the ground with the hands. Slowly bring that left leg down, set your toes down, shift your body to plank. Gently set your knees onto the ground. Then you're going to bring your elbows to the ground. Now you can keep the arms parallel like this, or even bring the hands in a little closer so you have more of a triangle shape rather than parallel line shape, either one. Basically all we're going to do is move into what I call dolphin plank. It's just plank on your arms, your forearms. So just lift the knees, maybe step the feet back a little bit. This is a lot of, it's upper body work, but you're going to notice that it's a lot of core work here too. Yes. 2 more breaths. We're going to take these to side plank in a moment. So right arm is going to stay on the ground. I like to kind of swing it in at an angle, like so. I don't know if you can see this. So I can turn sideways, right arm on the ground as I open up sideways and take the left arm up into the air. That right arm angled like that just helps with balance. Good, that's it. Yeah, it's okay if that right leg is on the mat. Breathe in, exhale. Let's bring this left hand and left arm back down to the ground. So you can just kind of roll over to the other side. You can angle that left arm as well. Turning sideways. Perfectly fine to set the hip or the left leg on the ground. This is still a reaching sensation through this right hand and right hip into the air. Flex the feet. That'll help strengthen the legs. Breathe in. Exhale. We're going to bring all this back down carefully. Set your knees down. Maybe separate the knees a little bit so you can sit back now into child's pose. Take a little break. And some deep breaths. Three more breaths. We're going to come back up to hands and knees here. And maybe even step the knees in to center, just together. And then sit back into hero pose. So the legs, if you can, close together. Let's go ahead and sweep both arms up into the air. Exhale, reach, just keep reaching through the fingertips, but reach to your left. Reach to your left. And then allow your hips to actually slide off to the right side. And for balance, bring this right hand down to the mat or down to the floor. So you can just sit down off to the right side there. And bring this left hand around so it's on this right thigh area. I'm going to turn this way so you can kind of see what I just did. So stay where you are. So we just went up. I did a little bend. This arm came down to catch, sit, and then just bring this arm around. And all we're going to do here is just push into the ground with the fingertips, get nice and tall. Exhale, rotate or twist to your right side. We're just going to call this mermaid pose. Now to come out of this posture, basically just step your hands away and just kind of walk your way out, okay, to the right side of the room. And then lift yourself up, face forward on your mat so you're just back into your tabletop position. You can even do a quick cat and cow right here. And same thing, we're just going to sit back into that hero-like pose right here. We'll just do the same thing other side. So let's take the arms up into the air, just reach up without interlacing fingers. Reach or bend over to the left side. Okay. We're going to slide off to the left. Is that correct? Or it's the other way? It's the other way, isn't it? So sit off to the right. Left hand comes down. That's it. So you can bring the hands around for your mermaid pose so you can twist in the other direction. I was trying to mirror you, but getting my directions wrong. So here, the hands, just want to make sure you're pressing into the ground to get this lift. And because we slid off the heels, this kind of puts a little awkwardness that's in the hips, and we're certainly not aligned there, but it creates a nice lengthening and stretch quality there. And nice and tall, lifting through the torso as we rotate away from the knees. Same way to get out of the pose, just crawl away from the legs. Rise up onto your hands and knees, facing forward, and maybe another cat and cow flow. That's it. After you've done that a few times, go ahead and just take a comfortable seat. You can just sit back into hero or just sit down for a moment if you want to. Okay, let me just show you a dynamic that we're going to be working through this next little round. We're going to be moving into dolphin pose. We kind of did that dolphin plank, but we're actually going to do dolphin pose. Okay? And this is a dynamic that we can kind of play with just so you can feel where the action is happening and how you can stabilize the body. So this will start in a down dog. I'm just going to demonstrate it. And we've already done the first part where I had you spread out your fingers, press palms firmly into the ground, strong straight arms, and allow the chest to sink. And some of you might be able to sink really deeply, or maybe it's not so deep, but you can kind of feel a place where it's just kind of a natural stop. And in this kind of position, your shoulders may feel locked. They really can't move a whole lot. I just want you to feel that sensation because we need some shoulder mobility to get into dolphin. So once we're in this position, we're going to get ourselves out of it by sending the upper back forward a little bit. And then you're going to let your elbows bend. I'm not going to let the elbows bend and point out because my elbow joints there, they're pointing out, so it's going to bend outward. But once they've done that, I'm going to squeeze and scoop inside, like I'm trying to reach down with my elbows, my bent elbows, to pick up something off the ground. So I'm going to end up here. Now my elbows, they were pointing there, now they're pointing back that way. But the rotation is coming in from the shoulder, okay, because we have that shoulder mobility. So from this sinking sensation, unstuck, bent elbows, squeeze with that wrap. And with this sensation, because the shoulders rolled out, the sensation is going to move into your lats, so your latissimus muscles here. Now you may shake, you may not be able to hold this posture very long, but don't worry about that. We're just activating some other muscles in this particular pose. But it's that sensation that's going to allow us to really be here in dolphin posture when the elbows do come down to the ground. And really push into the floor right there. Okay? So let's give that a try. So let's come out to downward facing dog. Your regular down dog. Spread out your fingers. Press into the mat so your palms are strong on the ground and your arms are straight and strong. And then gently sink your chest towards your toes or to the floor so you kind of get that locked shoulder feeling, but not too intense, right? Okay, now to get out of that, just send your upper back forward. So you're adding mobility back into the shoulders. Stay there. Now let the elbows bend. They're going to point out, but then imagine you're trying to squeeze and pick up something underneath your body. Squeeze in. You're going to feel a change. You'll feel this in your arms. You might feel this in your triceps. You might feel this in the sides of your body. You can even bring the knees to the floor, then your elbows to the floor, and then re-lift the knees so you can be in Dolphin, or just bring elbows down and you'll be in Dolphin. Let's come down to Child's Pose. Bring the knees down. You can separate the knees and just rest. Now, what you may want to do for a nice rest is to let your forehead rest on your mat and reach behind you with your arms, like you're reaching for your feet. That way your shoulders can really relax here. Let's take 3 more breaths. If your hands are reaching behind you, bring them back out in front. Come back up to hands and knees. Step the hands forward so you can return to your downward facing dog. With an exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale to lift up just halfway, monkey. Exhale, fold. Soft knees, let's inhale, reverse the swan dive, come all the way up. Reach high, exhale, bring your arms down by your side. And once you're there, you can do some more relaxation. Just circle those shoulders, okay? So in that dolphin, or getting into that dolphin, could you feel that? Really bend the elbows. You're just gonna squeeze in. So if I'm reaching here, arms are straight, but you're bending the elbows, letting them go out, but you're squeezing them in underneath you. When you do this sensation, this shoulder gets an outer spiral and it just sends that energy here. Okay? All right, follow me. Let's inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, let's take chair pose. As you take your seat, bring hands to heart center. Again, doesn't have to be a deep seat. Breathe in to extend your spine. Exhales a rotation to your right side. Again, these don't have to be deep rotations. And since we've rotated to the right, start shifting your weight into your right foot. Shift it over there, plant the foot strongly. Exhale to pull belly in so you can actually pick up your left foot. Extend the left leg back behind you. Set the toes down. So we're in this kind of revolving lunge here. Let's extend the arms floor to ceiling. We're still facing towards the right side there. Rise up to what I call a twisted warrior 2. Pause there for a second. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. That might help with balance. Then we're going to unwind. Okay, so the left heel's going to turn to the floor. It's basically kind of like a backward windmill, and take this to a reversed warrior. So right hand reaching up into the air. Let's do what we did earlier. We brought that right hand down behind your head. Left hand slide it on like a belt. Point with that right elbow towards the sky. Re-extend the arms. Windmill now. Bring your hands down to the ground. Step back. Down dog, right leg extends up into the air, reach. Bring the toes down to the ground. Shift your body forward to plank pose. Chaturanga Dandasana. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, let's float both feet back up to the top of the mat. Walk, step, or hop both feet forward. Stay on your feet. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's reverse the swan dive. Let's go right into the other side. Rising high, exhale, chair pose. As you take your seat, bring hands to heart center. Yeah. We're going to breathe in for length. Exhale, revolve or twist to your left. Mild rotation. Good. Start shifting your weight into your left foot. Root. Really feel the pressure on that left foot. Exhale to engage belly so you can easily pick up right foot. Extend the leg back. Set the toes behind you. We're still in a twist. We just happen to be in a lunge now. Extend your arms floor to ceiling. That right hand can be on the inside of the leg. That's fine. And then rise up, upper body, so we'll be in that twisted warrior 2 position. Perfect. Squeeze inner thighs towards each other. Backward windmill. Okay? So the right heel can turn to the floor. You'll end up in a warrior 2, but then reverse it. Left hand up into the air, nice extension, and we'll drop that left hand down behind you to the head, back of the head, and then slide your right arm on like a belt. Let's re-extend the arms. Windmill, hands down to the ground, back to a down dog. Slide the left foot back and up into the air. Feel these extensions, reach. Slowly set the left set of toes down. Shift your body to plank. Hold here. Bring your knees to the ground and just take another comfortable seat. Just relax for a moment. All righty. We're going to be going through that again, but we're going to change up kind of that last part, okay? Because I had you come back to a down dog. I'm going to do my left leg, okay? So I brought you down to a down dog like that, with the leg in the air. But what's going to happen is, in this position, we're going to do that same kind of sinking sensation, come out of it, bend elbows, squeeze inside, and take it to dolphin, just with the leg extended. We're going to bring the toes to the ground, and we'll just be in dolphin plank, okay? And then we're just going to continue, I think that's right, into the side plank, that's it. And then here, then we're going to step forward into the regular dolphin pose. Alrighty, okay. Back to a down dog. Walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale to extend spine. Exhale, fold. Let's just hold this one for a little bit longer. And if you're able, just hang heavily forward here and let your arms go loose. Here's another opportunity to kind of circle those shoulders. Since a lot of this work that we're doing is involving our shoulders, just want to give them a nice loosening at times. Whenever you're ready, we'll slide hands up to the knees or thighs to extend spine. Hold here. Lean back into your heels, bend your knees, and just continue to stand. Reach your arms up into the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Just take a couple of breaths. So the same beginning, starting in our chair pose, we'll twist it and step back into the lunge. Here we go. Inhale, sweep the arms into the air. Exhale, chair pose, bring hands to heart. Breathe in for lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to your right. Hold for a second just to feel where you are. Start shifting weight into the right foot, root. Exhale to engage belly so you can pick up left foot. Extend left leg back. Set the toes down behind you for your twisted lunge. Extend your arms top to bottom. Rise to your twisted warrior 2. Be sure you're squeezing to inner thighs. Backward windmill to get out of the pose. Left heel plants into the ground. Then take it right into your reversed warrior. Right hand up. Drop the right hand down behind your head. Slide your left hand on like a belt. Point with that right elbow. Re-extend the arms, windmill now. Bring the hands to the ground. Here's our down dog with the right leg in the air. Sweep the right leg back and up. You'll kind of automatically sink chest, but then send your upper back forward a little bit. Here's our dolphin. You're going to bend the elbows out, squeeze to center, and if you can, set the elbows onto the ground. You want the energy of that right leg lifting high in the sky. Then slowly bring those toes to the ground. Either step back or crawl forward a little bit so you're in a straight line for our dolphin plank. We're going right side plank. Okay, so you're going to maybe angle the right arm so you can turn sideways for our plank pose. Side plank on the arm. Perfect. Breathe in. Exhale, let's bring that left elbow back down to the ground. Now the arms can stay at this triangle shape or parallel shape. Stay like this, but tiptoe forward to a regular dolphin. Knees are bent. That will keep the hips high. Set your knees down. Bring the knees to center so they touch. Come up to hands and knees. You'll be something like this. So the legs are touching. Take a quick cow pose. Exhale, cat. Keep cat, but walk your hands towards your knees. You're going to be in this rounded spine like so. Engage the belly, but then slide your hands up your thighs, straight up to the sky. Reach over to your left side. That left hand's going to come down so you can sit off to the right side. Which we should have done the opposite way. Sorry about that. Bring both hands over to the right. So you can brace yourself here, yes. Lift up, exhale, twist to your right. So our mermaid pose here. So just keep this sitting sensation over to the right hip. You're going to swing the legs around to the front here. You can even just re-sit if you need to center and come to boat pose. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, roll forward, hands out front so you can just step back into plank pose. Come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And downward facing. With your next exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet. Inhale, rising halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's reverse the swan dive. Inhale, come up to standing. Reach high, right away to the other side. Chair pose. Take your seat, hands to heart. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, twist to your left. Shifting weight into the left foot. Core engagement. When you lift right foot up, extend the leg back, set the toes down, twisted lunge. Extend your arms floor to ceiling. Then rise up to your twisted warrior two. Hold for a second. Keep unwinding it until you're in warrior two, reversing the warrior, left hand reaching up into the air. Bend that elbow, bringing the hand down behind you. Right arm, slide it on like a belt. Point with the left elbow. Re-extend the arms, big windmill. Hands to the floor. Down dog, sweep the left foot back and up into the air. The chest will naturally sink. Unsink it. Bend the elbows, they'll point out. Squeeze them in towards center. Gently set the arms on the ground. Left leg extending up into the air. Bring the toes down for your dolphin plank. Lengthen this out. Left side plank. So maybe turn that left arm in if you want, so you can turn sideways. Open up to the right side. Left arm on the ground. Breathe in. Exhale, right arm can come back down. Parallel arms or triangle arms. Step into dolphin. Tiptoe forward. Hips high, knees soft. Set the knees onto the ground. Come up onto your hands. So a tabletop cow pose, inhale. Exhale, cat. Hold cat. You're still breathing, but hold cat so you can walk your hands towards your knees. So you can rise up, even sliding the hands up the legs, reaching up into the air. This would be to the left now. And bring this left hand down so we can sit off to the left side. Bring this right hand to the left side as well. Nice and tall, twisting to your left. Sitting off to that left hip so you can swing the legs around to the front. Resit if you need to. Boat pose. Let's hold a bit longer here. More core strength. Breathing in. Here we go. Exhale, cross legs, hands out in front. We'll step back into plank pose, long straight line in the body. And come on down, chaturanga, last one. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause. We're going to take a seat and sit and then lie down. So maybe hop forward, cross legs to take your seat, sitting in the center of your mat so you can roll down onto your back. Just bring knees to chest. And if you'd like, just add some movement here. Some circles, perhaps with the knees to get into the hips and low back. Then perhaps a hip opener. You might choose happy baby pose. You can even do reclining cobbler's pose, or both of those, or choose your favorite. Take your time with these hip openers. You don't have to move right away, but the next posture will just be a twist. So whenever you're ready for your twist, you might just bring the knees together. You might even take knees over to the left side first as you extend your right arm off to the right side. So you can create one more twist. So we had several twists in our practice. Lots of upper body work, shoulder work, balance, core. And slowly return to center. You might pause in center. And then taking knees off to the other side. Whenever you feel complete, you can just make your way back to center and perhaps move right into Shavasana or any other movements that might feel good. And if you don't choose Shavasana for your relaxation pose, just choose something that's nicely restorative for you, restful and relaxing. Return to the awareness of your breath. Just notice your breath in this restful position. And perhaps take 5 slow, deep breaths. And after your 5th breath, moving slowly, roll onto either side of your body. Take your time. Just moving into a nurturing pose. It might resemble a fetal position. Continuing to move slowly, guide your way up to seated. And just find a comfortable seat, sitting nice and tall. Whenever you're ready, an inhale to extend your arms out and right back up into the air. And the exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. And once here, just take one more breath on your own. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.